In a recent Wall Street Journal interview, Anthony Edwards was asked about the differences between the 80s and 90s generations of players and the current generation. His response sparked controversy among some players from that era. He claimed that Michael Jordan was the only player with true skill back then, and that today's players, who generally possess similar skills, are on a different level. "I didn't watch them back in the day, so I can't speak on it," Edwards clarified. "They say it was tougher back then than it is now, but I don't think nobody had good technique back then. Jordan was the only one who really had that skill. You know what I'm saying? So when they saw Kobe Bryant later on, they were like, oh my God, now everybody got that skill." Isaiah Thomas responds. Following these statements, Isaiah Thomas, a 12-time All-Star and Basketball Hall of Famer since 2000, who was one of Jordan's most direct rivals, responded to Anthony on Twitter, visibly upset with his words. "The narrative works, so be careful what you choose to believe," Thomas tweeted. Jordan always expressed respect for his rival, the Detroit Pistons' number 11. Even in the 10-part Netflix series The Last Dance, he referred to Zeke as the best point guard of all time after Magic Johnson. Speaking of Magic, the former Laker also responded, "I don't usually respond to kids that haven't won any championships, neither in the NBA, college, or high school." This mutual respect was evident when Isaiah attended Jordan's Hall of Fame induction speech in 2009, and Jordan thanked him for his presence. Edwards, who has always shown respect for past generations, especially Jordan, with whom he has been compared on several occasions, has always felt that these comparisons were excessive. "I want them to stop," he told Fox, referring to the comparisons. "He's the greatest of all time. I can't be compared to him." Therefore, these recent comments have somewhat surprised the public, who have heard him speak admiringly of 80s players. Kevin Garnett's response. Kevin Garnett, a legend of the Minnesota Timberwolves, spoke on his podcast with Paul Pierce, Ticket and the Truth, about Anthony Edwards' words. "If I'm being honest, I don't think anybody in this generation could have played like we did 20 years ago," Garnett said. 20 years ago, you couldn't step back. Do you hear what I'm saying? You couldn't step back. And if you took a shot, it had to go in. You know why? Because we had efficiency, and it was rugged. It was too physical. And you know what? The league had to get away from that to grow the scoring, which is why we love to sit here and watch the rat race that is high-paced basketball right now." Magic Johnson's strong response. Magic Johnson, who led the Los Angeles Lakers during the 1980s and is considered one of the greatest players of all time, did not remain silent in the face of Edwards' statements. During an interview with journalist Stephen A. Smith, Johnson was clear in his criticism of the young star. "I don't usually respond to kids that haven't won any championships. He didn't win a championship in college or even high school," Magic said, highlighting Edwards' lack of experience and achievements compared to the giants of the past. Magic Johnson, known for both his on-court ability and his leadership, emphasized the lack of respect for those who have paved the way in the NBA. His words not only defend his own legacy, but also that of all the stars who have helped build the league as we know it today. The controversy generated by these comments highlights the constant evolution of the sport and the inevitable comparison between generations. However, as Magic Johnson has shown, respect for those who built the game is something that should not be overlooked. Anthony Edwards, despite his short career, has already shown great potential and will have much to prove in the coming years if he wants to live up to the legends he is now compared to. Meanwhile, figures like Magic Johnson remain a living reminder that respect for the past is essential for future greatness. What do you think about today's basketball? Is it better than basketball in the past? Is Anthony Edwards right?